Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Fae. Today I am alone, and today I'll be discussing the two trailers for Agatha All Along, the next series in the MCU, and finally the next thing we will cover in the MCU now that we are fully caught up with the franchise. And there's a lot. There's things to talk about here. Two trailers. Um, So yeah, it's releasing this month in about 17 days, so a little over 2 weeks. So we won't cover it immediately as it releases. We will, of course, do what we always do and cover it when it finishes in November. Maybe a few weeks after it finishes in November. Not exactly when it finishes, but we will cover it pretty immediately once it concludes, probably around late November, early December, around there. So you can expect it to come out around that time. Yeah. So these trailers pose a lot of questions, and I would like to go over them. So yeah, that's all we gotta say. Before we actually get into talking about the trailer and everything, the two trailers and everything going on around them. So let's just get straight into it with not speculation, but instead something that I noticed watching the two trailers, is that this feels completely different from anything the MCU has ever done. I know it's what we said WandaVision, and WandaVision did go end up being at the end just kind of your normal MCU stuff with a big fight scene. But this does truly feel completely different. It feels... What the fuck is... I can do like I can impersonate of a phone that speaks with my teeth. Alright. That was fun to do. That was a little fun distraction for the last 5 seconds. But anyways. So... What's it going on about? Yeah. This feels more like a Disney movie, like a Disney XD movie that series than it does the MCU, and I am excited to see how it does. I liked WandaVision. I know it's mostly it's one of the more universally liked of the Marvel series. People, it still has like a lot of discussion about it, about whether it's really like good or not, or like around that discussion. But it's usually regarded as one of the better ones. And like this is the same team, and they're getting to work on something that's actually different, other than just what WandaVision was at the end. And I do not expect this series to go in the direction that every other Disney Plus Marvel series has gone, with a big fight scene at the end. I think this will be truly different. It doesn't seem like there's an actual big bad around this, and it's mostly more of a journey towards something, and us seeing all of the weird stuff that happens around it. But yeah, this does feel different from any of the things we've seen before in the MCU, and that's really refreshing. We don't have a lot of different things in the MCU. We really, really don't. We don't have a lot of things that feel different, so having this finally here and being different is really cool, and it's almost kind of a necessity for this, because I don't know what you would put as a villain for this series, because Agatha Harkness is like a D tier character, like a D list character, and you really can't. So I think taking some creativity with the character while keeping true to her comics is to her comic appearances is very cool. And it's something that I wish we'd see more often, but I don't know if we will. Yeah, I have full faith in this team to actually do it now that they probably have a lot more freedom to do what they want to do with Agatha Harkness and all those characters. So I think we're in safe hands for the series, but there's definitely that possibility that they don't do it well. But that I don't know if they won't. Like it seems it seems like it seems like it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to mess up something being different in the MCU. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this series goes with its like different plot and all that, and what we see here. But I feel like it feels different, and I'm glad it does because it's just kind of fun to have something different here once in a while than just having your old superhero stuff. And I'm glad that they're going in this direction. I liked how like World by Night felt like that wasn't very. To me, that wasn't the most like that wasn't a very MCU to put it in, it didn't feel MCU. It still doesn't feel MCU. It's still part of the MCU, and we don't know where that's gonna fit. But yeah. So I like what I'm seeing here. I like that it's different. I like that this mystical side of the MCU is a little more is a little more different, a little more derived than what the usual MCU format. So yeah, I think it looks cool. And I think I like this new approach having. So it's actually going to speculation. So we're finally talking about Wanda's death. So Wanda died at the end of Multiverse of Madness, and well, it's been quite a while since Multiverse of Madness, admittedly, and we've not gotten a single mention of Wanda's death, and we know that she put a spell on Agatha to keep her part of like the Westview stuff as like a little punishment, and now now that Wanda's dead, that spell is weakening and going away. I think a lot of people are saying that Wanda isn't dead. That could be possible, however, there is no real. I don't see a way to bring her back, and then she just survived. This series might go into how she might have survived, but I think for the time being, Wanda Maximoff is 100% dead. I think she's dead. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think Wanda is dead. Like, just fully dead. Why? Don't ask me. Why? Well, I mean, ask me. I'll tell you an answer. I think, again, there's no real reason to bring her back. I think probably just to have her back. And I don't really see where you can go with her character. I think she's dead. I think Wanda is dead. For now. Until there is solid proof that she isn't, other than like a little sparkle of red energy, I think Wanda's dead. Marvel hasn't said anything to the contrary, so I won't believe the contrary. That's just my opinion. Yeah, we're finally going into like what Wanda's death really means for characters. That's probably also going to be explained in Vision Quest, or whatever the Vision is eventually going to be called, where we will see like White Vision come back. And that's coming out in 2026. After 5 years, they're finally touching upon where White Vision went. And I think that's going to also touch upon there, the fact that Wanda is dead. I think Wanda being dead is going to be a very big part of the mystical side of the MCU. Because because the Scarlet Witch is a very big character, so her being dead is something that should be explained, and maybe we'll see other characters show up because she's dead, and because that sort of power gap is left in the universe. Hint, hint. Yeah, I'm glad they're finally touching upon this. It's been a thing I think kind of bothering me for a while, since the MCU has had this knack of not mentioning stuff in recent years about stuff that they've done beforehand, about like very big plot points. Only now we're going to see not only what Wanda's death means for characters, but in next year's Captain America 4, like the Sam Wilson's Captain America movie, we're gonna see finally not like a few plot points being touched upon. We're gonna see the leader. We're gonna see what happens to the leader. We're gonna see what the effects like Tiamat and all that, and apparently the big plot point of it and what it seems to be the leak. I don't discuss leaks. I mean, sure, why not? I guess seems. I'll keep this ambiguous for those who don't want to be spoiled. Apparently, a very big plot point is coming out of Tiamat's corpse. If you don't remember, Tiamat is the Eternal not Eternal, the Celestial that was killed at the end of Eternals. You might remember that because nobody watched Eternals, or nobody liked Eternals. So, yeah. Yeah, we're finally touching upon Tiamat. It's been, by that point, over a little under 4 years. Not a little under, like just under 4 years, over 3, since we have known that, and the MCU has known that. There's been mention in some of this series, but that doesn't really count because it's not been like a very big mention. And the fact there's a gigantic corpse out, like jutting out of the water, is probably, like something that's very big. But hey, now we can't complain that it wasn't announced, that wasn't touched upon. We can only complain that wasn't touched upon sooner. But yeah. So we're finally touching upon that, and everything after Westview. We're finally going over Westview, and I actually forgot that we were going over that, but we're finally going over Westview and what happened after Westview, since Doctor Strange 2 did not mention Westview aside from one little thing, and I think that should have been a thing to have mentioned, but again they didn't, because I think I mentioned in Deadpool Wolverine that in the Deadpool Wolverine episode that Doctor Strange 2 and WandaVision were written around the same time, and they did not and since WandaVision was like being filmed and being released as it finished before then, but they didn't know what to keep and what they wanted to keep for the actual thing, so they didn't mention a lot of things for Westview, and they just kind of brushed that off to the side. But we're actually going to see Wanda's effects on Westview, and that's going to be very interesting. So I like that we're finally touching upon that, since WandaVision was Give me a second, I have something in my mouth. WandaVision was a long ass time ago. WandaVision, for those who don't know, WandaVision was the first thing we covered from the MCU. It was the first, the MCU, the first MCU thing we ever covered. At the start of Phase 4, we've covered all of Phase 4. Yeah, it was the first thing we ever covered, a big thing we covered on the podcast. And yeah, that was 3 years ago. That was quite a long time ago. Quite a bit ago, 3 years ago. So yeah, we're finally going over this, so you can see that we've started the podcast since WandaVision was a thing, pretty much. Before it even came out, technically. Yeah, I think it was our 5th episode. No, I think it was our 9th episode. I think WandaVision was our 9th episode. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad we're doing that. Another thing that I would like to mention is the fact that there is this character called Teen. in the show, and he is apparently supposed to be Billy Maximoff, or technically Billy Kaplan, as I think his name is in the comics, like the resurrected version of uh of Billy Maximoff. If you guys probably remember, but Wanda had these like fake kids that she made up in her illusion in Westview, that they disappeared after the illusion was taken down. And then in Multiverse of Madness, she's apparently trying to get them. But that wasn't really. Yeah, that wasn't really a thing that was. I don't know. Multiverse of Madness was weird. I don't remember what Wanda's goal was. No, it was getting her kids back. I remember it. It was getting her kids back. So that was there, and in the comics, that sort of happens. Her kids aren't real, and their souls get revived by I think their souls get revived. Their souls get put into other kids' bodies, and they get resurrected in that way. And so that's how that's how Wiccan comes to be. And there are apparently reports that this teen character, played by, I don't remember his actor's name, but he sort of looks like the guy who played the kid who played Billy in WandaVision. He's not the same guy, but he looks like him, like a grown-up version. And there are rumors that is actually Billy Kaplan, like a revived version of this character that's being introduced in the series, to later become Wiccan. Or becomes Wiccan. I don't know. That's what's weird. We don't know much about this character. But then there comes the question of how does he come back? Right? So it's sort of weird, because in the MCU, since those kids were kind of fake, but this would put them in the same room as the comic book characters, that they aren't really fake, that they were sort of semi-created by Wanda. Yeah, he. What was I going on about? Like they have souls and they get reincarnated in certain ways. So this would go in with the comics that those kids had, like Wanda created pretty much souls to put in like a temporary body. That seems to be what's going on here. Maybe. I don't know, like, it doesn't really explain it, I don't think it's explained in the comics, like, at least what I looked upon in Wikipedia is just somehow they returned. Somehow these kids returned. But, what is it? But it's not explained, and they could explain the MCU, and this is gonna be a very weird thing, because how did these guys come back? How does Billy, if Teen is Billy, come back? That could be explained here. Maybe like a Mephisto, the big name I just said, but I'll talk about it later. But Mephisto maybe brings him back, or has like a deal or something. Like maybe Agatha brings him back for some reason. Maybe he's just kind of there in the Witch's Road, because he was a creation of magic. Maybe he's just kind of there. Maybe it doesn't get explained at all, and we just have to kind of deal with the fact that Wiccan is part of the universe now. It could go in a lot of directions, really. But yeah, it's very, very interesting to see how they do that, if that's the case. I've heard that's the case, but I don't know. But yeah, it could be interesting. So I mentioned the Witch's Road, and I'll talk about it here a little bit. So it's been sort of said, I've heard a little bit that this is going to be another dimension in the MCU. And it's like, god damn it, now another one. I am kind of tired of all the dimensions in the MCU and all like the different stuff in the MCU. It just kind of overgrows it a little, and I think that we didn't really need this. I would have preferred like a specific location to have this. But I don't know. I think that maybe, I guess, but I'm kind of tired of all the different things in the MCU to keep track of. There's just a bunch of things I don't think need to be here. I would prefer to be another location, like a magical location or something. That would have been infinitely better for me, but at least to me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Witch's Road being another dimension here, but I'm not liking it right now. I don't like this. They've been through so much stuff that just kind of is for one thing and then never again. So I don't know. Anyways, that's the point. So the title. So I guess if you guys don't know about the series went through a lot of titles in its time, and it went through a lot of titles in its time, and they were like House of Harkness, Coming of Chaos, Dark Diaries, and I think the last one they said was the Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe. You know that thing? I think that's it. And apparently, it's none of those. So it got changed to Agatha All Along in the end, which is kind of a funny little marketing campaign they did for this series. But it got changed to that, and apparently those titles are going to be episodes. Now, these episodes could mean a lot of different things. I'm guessing Coming of Chaos will be back when the common is fully formed. House of Harkness might be like a flashback episode or something. The Lying Witch of Great Wardrobe might be like the first episode. And what's the other one? Dark Diaries might be something different. Now that's gonna be an interesting episode since this takes place after Multiverse of Madness. So in that we know that Scarlet Witch burned all copies of the Darkhold from the universe, from every universe. Not really, because you can't really do that. You can't do that. That's not really possible. So I'm guessing every universe within like that little MCU micro pocket universe that they have going on. Since working with the multiverse while it's part of a comic universe is weird. A lot of people are saying that the MCU isn't part of like the Marvel thing; it's its own separate thing. But I don't believe that. My consensus is that the MCU is part of the Marvel multiverse, but it has its own little pocket of universes that sort of go around it. I think that's what it probably is. It's like, instead of it being, another multiverse in somewhere else. I don't know. I don't like that. So yeah, that is. I think that's what the titles mean. I think that's like the rough thing of what I think the titles mean, but I don't know. We'll see. We still don't know any of the titles because all of them, because this series is 9 episodes long. I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure this series is 9 episodes long. I mean, if it's ending in November, then definitely. But yeah, it's 9 episodes. It's 9 episodes long. That's one of the longer ones for the MCU. Oh, I should have put here. I am very now that I remember it's 9 episodes long. I am very, very cautiously optimistic that this like I'm hopeful, but not like slightly hopeful that this series makes use the fact that like it isn't like a 20-minute episode of a series. It's 9 episodes, like you in long form episodes. Not like it's like a big episode, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Use that time. Use it. You can be a little shorter. I don't mind if it's like 35, like maybe 35 to 45. I don't mind that range, but don't make them uber short. That is the worst thing in the MCU. Like one of the big things that Disney Plus series have is that they have too little time when they want to tell a big story. You can tell that story in 8 episodes. You can tell a big story in 8, 6. You can do it, but episodes have to be long. They have, and if you don't want to make them long, you have to make them concise and make sense. There's a lot of ways around that, but you have to make sure that it's at least comprehensible. They're not just making something really bad because you're rushing through it. That is coming from seeing all of these shows and knowing they don't have the time to make what they want to make. That's just me. But yeah, second to last point. Is Mephisto showing up? Okay, here's the big thing. Mephisto everywhere. WandaVision. I think Mephisto's gonna be in Ironheart. Why? I don't know. But apparently Mephisto is also rumored to be in the series. Guess there's demons and shit everywhere. So could he show up? Definitely. I think Agatha is in the comics is at least somewhat has like some interactions with Mephisto. This is definitely the mystical side. I think this would be the perfect time to introduce Mephisto into the MCU. But yeah, he could show up. He definitely could. I wouldn't be against it, but I don't. Maybe he will. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe he won't. I have no idea. Apparently, I don't know if it's still in. I don't know if Sacha Baron Cohen is still in talks to be Mephisto. He could be. Because it couldn't be. I don't know. We're in a little weird spot when it comes to Mephisto. We're in a weird spot when it comes to this character because we don't know. We know he's going to be somewhere, but we don't know where. So yeah. I think he's likely to show up, but I don't know. Maybe a little hint. Yeah. My last point that I actually kind of hastily added before I made this episode is: will Agatha betray the other witches? It's very implied that Agatha doesn't have the best intentions about the others and has ulterior motives and isn't that good of a person. And I think that could be played along with very, very well in the series. And the fact that this is a villain we're following, I hope they don't do like Loki and just make Agatha like a good person like instantly. That's probably not going to happen. I hope that we some mischievous from some sinister things. I hope that we see her being a villain and the fact we're following a villain. But yeah, I think that Agatha will. That there's some hints of the trailers that Agatha will betray the other witches because she's just using them to get to the witch's road. That could be very interesting to play around with. And I hope that happens because I want to see, because I would like to see that, and it could make sense like in the series she doesn't have her power or she doesn't have her magic, so she could like make these witches and steal their magic to make herself stronger. That could happen. That is definitely on the table, but I don't know if it will. I don't know if these writers will go in that direction. Maybe they will. Maybe we'll see like a truly evil character. Like we're following a villain. That could be interesting. But again, I have no idea if that's going to be the case. But yeah, okay about it. I'm excited for this series. It's one of the few. I look forward to all the MCU series. I'm not excited for all of them. I definitely look forward to most of them just to see where it goes. But there are some I am not particularly. Sorry, I'm not particularly excited for. This one I am excited for. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I really do hope it's good. I think the Marvel series I've hit kind of a low recently. And I think that this series could be a very good one. I don't know if a lot of people watch it. Again, this is a D-list character. This is not a very popular character. People could watch it because they remember WandaVision, but a lot of people couldn't. I could see this becoming like a sleeper hit of a series, but I don't know, but it might not. Like I've said it before. I've been excited for series, and they've disappointed me in the past. So this could go in the direction, but this couldn't. I am cautiously optimistic for this series because Marvel hasn't had a good track record with series recently. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Aside from X-Men 97, but I'm talking MCU specifically. So yeah. That's really about it. So yeah, what do you guys think about the Agatha All Along trailers? Leave in the comments below. All our socials are in the description. And yeah, no, that's really about it. See ya.